Hi, Mark here. It is Tuesday, April the 28th, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, half an hour till the US session gets underway. Let's have a look how the market shaping this morning. US dollar fighting its way back after ending last week and yesterday. Looked like a turnaround. US dollar gave up some gains, but certainly fighting back today. I've got support 98.23. I've got resistance at 98.61. Strong green candlestick for now. We'll see if demand for US dollars continues once the US session gets underway and whether this resistance does get tested. Buyers look up even towards this 99 level, or if we're going to get a turnaround from strong to weak US dollar, and sellers do step in here and look back down at support sitting at 98.23. So we look at the S&P 500 futures trading for now. Good hour and a half until Wall Street opens up, and you can see so far today a definite turnaround. I've got resistance at 7,223 and support now at 7,165. And engulfing this green candlestick from yesterday. So we've seen steady demand for US equities from the beginning of the month. Definitely a turnaround so far in the futures market. We'll see whether that continues once Wall Street opens up, maintains at these levels, perhaps even lower, and like I say, engulfs this green candlestick, or if buyers do step in and we see a bounce up of this support area and buyers look back up to the resistance. But we're seeing the inverse relationship for now. We're seeing strong US dollar going into the US session, and so far US equities being sold off in the form of the S&P index. Let's have a look at gold. And there again, you're seeing the inverse relationship, strong US dollar, weak gold. Gold has been in a slump, in a bit of a move lower and downtrend from the 17th of April. And today, big step lower. I've got resistance at 4,709 and I've got support at 4,593. There was a strong support to break below, but sellers did break below. We'll see if it can move further, if sellers will continue to add to the sell-off and move how much further it can move, I guess, will somehow be to some extent be determined by the performance of the US dollar as well. For now, we're seeing a strong inverse relationship between the two. 4,709 resistance, 4,593 our support for now going into the US session. Let's have a look at Brent oil. There you see uptrend continuing, picking up steam. I've got support at 101.90. Significant yesterday that we saw close above the 100 level, which has been a while since then, on the hope and optimism of a settlement being reached in the Middle East. We saw prices come below 100. Last couple of days since talks appear to be failing. Again, we're seeing a move to the upside. Support 101.90 and resistance sitting at 105.04. We'll see whether that does continue depending on what happens on the ground and any new developments. But oil prices definitely nervously moving higher this morning going into the US session. And then let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin continuing from yesterday's sell-off. Yesterday we had technically a double top, bearish engulfing, all playing out so far today. I've got resistance at 77.4 thousand and I have support now sitting at 76.2 thousand. Sellers will look to continue this sell-off. I think the next test would be the ascending trend line, which pretty much coincides with around the 75,000 level. We'll see if that can be maintained or if buyers do step in and look back up at the resistance level or higher. But certainly a sell-off right now. not dissimilar to the pattern that we've seen since the beginning of April, but this does look up like a bigger turnaround, like we saw here 18th and 19th of April. We'll see if the same thing happens and buyers do step in, or if this does continue, come lower and test this ascending trend line. Good trading, keep that discipline, and I'll see you at the end of day.